Hey, welcome back to Get Down to Business, the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. I'm absolutely thrilled to be joined by Krista Boyce, who is the Chief Strategy Officer and Senior Coach at the Handle Group. And they are all about teaching methodology at educational institutions like Stanford, MIT, NYU, and in organizations including Live Nation, Vogue, and LinkedIn. So much there. Krista, welcome to the program.
Hi, thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
Oh, it's exciting to have you. So, Chris, I want to talk about your background first. For the past 10 years, you've been working as an educator, consultant, and executive life coach. And you have quite a background yourself. So let's talk about that for a moment and how you got into what you were doing and developing your expertise. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so my background, my first career, as I like to say it, was in fashion retail. So I did marketing, branding, consumer experience, visual merchandising for retail companies. And, as I was growing in my leadership, I realized that it takes a lot more to become an executive and run big teams than just knowing how to do your job. And so I stumbled quite a bit. So I became a coach because I was failing at my job and hired a coach actually to help me figure out how to be better at my job, although I was very much resistant in the beginning. I had friends who were like, you should get a coach to help you. And I was like, who does that? Coach? Like, no, people like airing my dirty laundry. No, thank you. But after a lot of arm twisting, got a coach, and it radically changed my ability to lead. Because one of the things that a coach does is they help you really understand the intricacies of your personality and how to best manage your reputation and have conversations and manage dynamics. And so having that board of advisor was really useful to me. So it got me to be able to best figure out how to inspire people, motivate people, and stand my ground. Because before that, I was very much people pleasing and not really leading.
Wow. So, Krista, you are the Chief Strategy Officer and Senior Coach at the Handle Group. The Handle Group actually has a number of different angles. So let's talk about what you guys do. Can you tell us a little bit of a brief overview?
Yes. So we are an executive life coaching company. So what that means is that when we work with people, we work on their whole life holistically. And whether you are coming to us from any side, as you just mentioned, we follow a very similar process. So we have multiple divisions, the core of which are our education division, our corporate division, and our life coaching division. We also have a sports division where we work with athletes. In all of these divisions, we work with people on making sure that they're operating on peak performance and that they're optimizing their relationships so they can get the best results. Depending on which place you come to us from, if you're coming in our life coaching division, we're going to focus with you more on your personal life and look at your personal history and support you with your interpersonal relationships. In our corporate division, we focus more on your business and your leadership brand and your executive presence. But we also look at your life holistically, because the truth is you can't be great at work and not great in your personal life, right? Like it doesn't work. So whenever I get an executive, I'm always like, hi, like how much are you sleeping? And they're like, I thought this was executive coaching. And I'm like, yes, but if you're not sleeping well, you're not great with your team in the morning. Like it's impossible, right? So your personal life always impacts your professional life. So when we're working with people, doesn't matter in the space, even in the education space, when we're working with graduate students or professors or administrators, we're always taking a holistic approach to ensure that people are living in accordance with their highest ideals, what we like to call they're living in their personal integrity.
Krista, tell us a recent example of a success story in any of those categories that you just mentioned. Somebody that you've been able to help, please, without names.
Oh, okay. A recent success story. Oh, this is a good question. So I had a client just very recently, a super successful person who is in the middle of toying of whether or not they want to make a big career jump, a big career leap. And this happens quite often in coaching. We oftentimes get people who are interested in coaching when they're feeling like they've kind of reached all they can reach in their jobs. It's time for something new. They're not exactly sure what it is. And how we help them figure out what's next is we get them to go dream and really start to invent for themselves what's next. And it's a process to get people to dream, because what's happening when we're not dreaming, and so for anybody listening, if you are not dreaming right now, you're probably in some version of complacency in your day-to-day, a little bit resolved. Maybe you're nitpicking and things bother you and you're annoyed by little things. Or perhaps you're just causing some messes in your day-to-day. Like, people who are not dreaming find themselves in some level of bored or frustrated. And that's a big cue for us. So oftentimes people come to coaching because they find themselves in that position. And our job is to get people to get back inspired. So we lead them through a dream writing process, which has many paths before we finally get to the outcome of what the dream is and where we're going to go. And then we get people to start playing with that dream, like taking like small risks to test it out and date it to see if it's where they want to go. So my recent success story is I had a client, super successful, was done with their particular profession, didn't really know it, was sort of nitpicky and unhappy. And we went through this process, and now she's making this massive career leap and starting her own business in a very different industry than what she's been in.
Well, congratulations on the success. And Carissa, I'm going to squeeze in a quick break, and we will continue our conversation talking about your work and talking also about how 2021 is looking. I know that in your line of work, you do a lot of speaking, you do a lot of engagements. So I'm looking forward to hearing about how this upcoming year is looking. Be sure to check out Get Down to Business on your favorite podcast app. Your platform is available everywhere, including my other podcast called We All Serve, where I interview military leaders. Be sure to check out my website, shalomklein.com. That's where you can download podcasts of the past 7+ years of shows. We are going to squeeze in a quick break, so we'll be right back. Hey, welcome back. I am chatting with the one, the only Carissa Boyce, who is the Chief Strategy Officer at the Handle Group. And Carissa, you and I have been talking before the break about some of your success stories. So again, congratulations on that. But we are having this conversation in the early part of 2021. 2020, I know, has been a unique year. Ordinarily, I know you love to travel and speak and engage in so many different levels. So tell us how last year was and how this year is turning out, and sort of how you're planning and strategizing.
Well, I have to say that I've been on a plane at least once a month since my early 20s. And last year I was in this room that you can see me in right now, and it was very painful. It was very painful. So at some point, my husband and I were like, we got to get out of here. So like last week we went to California. We were like, we got to go. We just got to leave the house. So there was that. But let me talk about business for a minute and 2020. So the things that we saw in 2020, most people, is that we started to redefine what our work looks like and how we do work and where we work. And everyone's sort of contending with this particular phenomenon. So last year for me was really all about helping my clients figure out how to structure their offices, their teams, and their culture to be conducive to this new work environment. Because the truth is, many businesses were not set up for this particular structure because we didn't have it in place. And even some businesses didn't even have laptops for people, right? And people listening might know that like they didn't have any way to access their databases or anything from home. So that was a really big challenge for business owners and companies. For the employees and the people working in the company, the challenge was like, how do I work from home and actually be productive and figure out how to still have balance in my life and like get sunlight and, take care of my kids and be a normal human and, brush my teeth. A lot of times I'd get on calls with clients and they're like, I think I'm still wearing my pajamas. I'm so sorry. It's like, it happens. So 2020 was really about setting the foundation for people to help them be very successful when it comes to working in this new world order. And that included talking about the differences between pivoting and reacting for businesses. Pivoting is when you're really being strategic and thinking big picture about the future. Reacting is just making a change quickly just to survive. And many businesses did a lot of reacting last year. And so my work's been in helping people think about what the pivots are going to be and sort of help predict the future of what their industry is going to look like. And then for my one-on-one clients, it's really been helping them figure out how to redesign what they think about productivity and effectiveness in their day-to-day, because that's all been flipped on its head.
Well, that's you covered so much over there, not only in terms of what 2020 has been like and what 2021 is looking like, but we're living in an evolving world. And I know that you are evolving together with your clients and helping them in all of those areas that we talked about earlier. Again, chatting with Krista Boyce, Chief Strategy Officer and Senior Coach at the Handle Group, which has several different areas: HG Life, HG Corp, diversity, education, sports, so many different areas. So, Krista, we covered a lot over here. I want to make sure our listeners know where they can reach you and your team. Can you share some contact information? Of course, your website.
Yes, of course. So handelgroup.com is where you can go to find out more information about the company and our offerings, and you can learn more about each division. So it's HANDEL group.com. And that will give you sort of like stock information about who we are and what we do. If you are interested in learning more about how we do what we do and want free coaching or to interact with our coaches, you should go on Instagram. Handel Group on Instagram, because we offer free coaching, community calls, and we post all events. So if you want to join one of our events, which we do plenty of every month, you should go there and play with us and get engaged. And then also one of the things I invite people to do is take our current reality quiz. It's a quiz that you can download on our website that helps you understand where you fall in your life. And it'll give you a good point of reference for like what you can go work on if you were interested in coaching or wanted to participate in our calls.
Fantastic. Well, Krista, thank you so much for joining us. And it's been quite a show. What a great lineup that we have had here on Get Down to Business. Be sure to check out my website, shalomklein.com. To success, let's get down to business. We'll talk to you next Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on AM 560 The Answer.